Hi everyone, I'm Ross Dakin, co-founder and CTO of Criticality Sciences. Question, was anyone here impacted by the California wildfires a few years ago? Yeah, that caused 2 million people to lose power in the Bay Area, and it caused PG&E to lose $30 billion in market cap. This is an example of what we call a critical infrastructure failure. Critical infrastructure runs our country. It's everything from power to water, telecommunications, logistics, and supply chains, but it's getting older, more fragile, and more vulnerable to increasing threats, whether natural or man-made, like climate change or ransomware and sabotage, as with the Nord Stream pipeline that we saw last week. Fun fact, speaking of sabotage, this is a electric power grid substation. You probably have one in your community. You've probably seen one. There are 55,000 of them across the country. How many do you think you would have to blow up to black out the entire US? 9. Super scary. So this is a big problem, and it's getting worse. This is a graph showing the increase in the number of people impacted by power outages over the last 20 years, and it's complicated by the fact that there are complex interdependencies between systems. So what I mean by that is if the power goes out, a lot of times that will cause water pumps to fail as well, whether bringing fresh water in or wastewater out. We saw that in Hurricane Katrina. We saw something similar with the Texas freeze. And I also want to highlight the 2003 Northeast blackout that blacked out 55 million people in the Northeast region of the US. The thing that these three examples have in common is they were all instances of what we call a cascade failure. A cascade failure is what it might sound like. It's when one component fails and that failure propagates to other components adjacent to it in the system or other systems adjacent to the failing system. And this is what we set out to address with Criticality software. We help utility companies analyze their systems for propensity to fall into cascade failure and create a fragility metric. To that end, we help them optimize the ROI of their mitigation budgets, which is oftentimes billions of dollars per year, and we help them recover efficiently when something goes wrong. And I say when, not if, because we take the approach that it's only a matter of time. We like to say failures are inevitable. We keep them small. This is our team. I've been the first and second engineer at a number of companies, software companies that have either gone public or been acquired. My co-founder and CEO, Susan Ginsburg, by the way, we're very proud to be a woman-led and majority-owned company. She worked on the 9/11 Commission report. Our other colleagues have lifelong careers in power and water engineering. So we know disasters, we know technology, and we know the industry. Speaking of the industry, there's been a lot of spending in this area. There have been at least $500 million recently in acquisitions in this area with risk modeling. We think that translates to a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. We've got projections that show revenue going up and to the right. And we've had some exciting traction and validation to date, including partnerships, pilots with various utilities of different size all across the country. We've filled half of our seed round so far. And just last week, we were one of 12 companies this year out of the entire US to receive a round 1 NIST SBIR grant for $100,000. So if this is interesting to you, please scan this QR code to learn more, and I'd love to speak with you afterwards. Thank you.